Alright, another craptastic day in St. Paul. Spring is not here yet, but we can't stop from doing a reader review. So this is Brian in Vermont. This is a keg fill that I think he did with a beer gun. Quite a hiss. Keg filled on January 17th, so 4 months ago almost. Yeah, very carbonated, nice head, clear, pretty clear. This is a Patersbier, original gravity 1052, final gravity 1010, Pils malt, Hallertau hops, and 1/2 ounce East Kent Goldings Belgian ale. So this should be similar to the one that I made, I think. Yep, that is similar. Tastes clean. It is somewhat dry. Not super sweet. I wonder what kind of Pils malt it was. I think the Dingman's Belgian Pils almost makes it more dry than like the raw Pils. But so far so good. I'm gonna let it warm up a little bit and do some more tasting. Well, been warming it up, drinking it some more. I was wrong about the date. Was brewed on January 17th, but bottled from the keg on April 1st, so it's been a month and a half, and it held the carbonation fine. It's not oxidized at all. I suppose a beer gun with the counter pressure filler or whatever it is will help you accomplish that. It's very clean. Aroma is mostly, I'm getting mostly the Belgian yeast. That's often what you're going to get in a light Belgian ale like this. But it's very good. It's drinkable as far as just what you are trying to make when you're making a beer like this. Just kind of lowish alcohol, probably 5.5%. Easy drinking, decent flavor, but not a ton of flavor, and that's not what you're going for. But good job. I look forward to the other 5. Cheers. Alright, the Patersbier is gone. It was delicious. I've washed my glass out. Next one is Maple Red Ale. This one I am interested in because he brewed it. The brewing water was 100% maple sap. So, not maple syrup, but just the sap. And I have never drank maple sap, but what I've been told is that it actually does not taste a lot like maple syrup because it's so diluted at that point, the flavor. But this one was brewed March 17th. It's been in the bottle for almost 1 month. Looks like this one is more like 6% alcohol, 1059 down to 1010. So let's give her a shot. Woo! Quite a pop. I'm gonna tilt it, as it sounded like it was pretty carbonated. I'm not gonna do the whole thing right now. There's a little bit of 3 ounces roasted barley just sprinkled in right before sparging, just for color, which is interesting. I don't know if I've really heard about that. It's a little bit darker than a red, than what I would consider a red. It's more like a brown. I wonder what you think about that, Brian. It's very, very dark red, if not a brown. Ooh, I smell something sweet. A few ounces of maple syrup at the end of the boil, and I'm actually getting a little bit of maple syrup, maple sugary sweetness. It reminds me of this Acer Glen beverage that I made entirely out of maple syrup, and fermented that in the aroma. Oh, I can taste some maple too. I wonder if that's the syrup, or if that does come from the sap at all. I suppose you'd have to not add any syrup. You said you added a few ounces of maple syrup at the end of the boil, but if you didn't add any syrup, then you could see if you had any maple character just from using the sap. Yeah, it's a tiny bit not roasty, but there is a little bit of you know, highly kilned malt flavor. It's somewhat sweet from the syrup or the sap. What kind of hops are in here? Maybe I'm getting a little bit of that. There's a ½ ounce of Chinook for bittering, and then just a ½ ounce Cascade, 15 minutes, ½ ounce Centennial, 15 minutes. There's a little bit of hop bitterness. Actually, I'm getting a little bit of that Chinook, because that's a pretty high alpha acid hop, and I am getting a little bit of that too. It's clean tasting. I think I wish it was a little sweeter. What did it get down to? 10.10? You know, that might be part of it. Starting at 10.59, which is starting to get up there a little bit. To go down to 10.10 is not unreasonable, but it's a little bit low. Maybe for my own personal taste, if it was 10.12, 10.13, 10.14, it maybe would have a little more sweetness. Maybe balance out the roast. I don't know, I'm getting kind of that highly kiln malt just from the roast, the few ounces of roast that weren't even really mashed. But I think the hop bitterness is coming through a little bit. I suppose a person that could mash at a few degrees higher temperature maybe end up with a little bit of a higher finishing gravity. It's clean tasting though, so that's good, and it's good. It's kind of just coming down to personal taste and thinking about how I like to have a beer, you know, balanced out. But it's interesting to try, and I do get a little bit of that maple character. Yeah, and it kind of tastes like a red ale. I see you had Vienna, ½ pound, and a ½ pound of Crystal 60, 1 pound of Crystal 10. Oh, that Crystal is coming through too. That Crystal 10, the pound of it, and a little bit of the Crystal 60, that's coming through. That's part of that sweetness that I'm getting that I didn't identify. Also, Vienna, only ½ pound, but Vienna is a good combo with a maple flavor, I think, because the sweetness of Vienna malt goes with that flavor. I'm gonna burp. Excuse me. This one is good too. Nothing is wrong with it other than, like I said, personal preference. If I made this beer and I was gonna make this similar beer again, I might change a couple things to bring it into line with what I really like to drink. But it is good, and thanks for sending. And there is 4 more beers to come, so see you later.